Hello everybody, I'm Matthew Bradby. I got over 25 years in the automotive industry. I started out in the early 90s as a salesperson. I moved up to an F&I manager or finance manager. I've been a sales manager. I've also been an assistant GM to a smaller lot. So I have years of experience in the car industry, and I want to help you buy a car post-COVID. That's right. How do I buy a car after COVID when the media and everybody said, well, there's a shortage in cars. There is 5, 7, 10, 15,000 markups on new cars. The selection is low. My credit is bad. Or, the interest rates are too high. How do I buy a car? So if you give me a few moments, we will walk through the intelligent way, regardless of your credit, to buy an automobile post-COVID. All right? So get your pencils out. Let's go. The first thing you're going to need to do is do your homework. Every day we see ads. We hear them on the radio. We see them on the TV. We see them on YouTube. Every dealership is advertising. And they're advertising because they're trying to keep the ball rolling. I want you to take time to do your research. Do your research. When you see a dealership, go in their Yelp and Google reviews. Look at the good as well as the bad reviews. You'll see a reoccurring theme with a lot of bad reviews like, the cars are junk, or I got a car, or there was some type of misleadment. I want you to study those patterns. Now, 1 or 2 don't mean they're a bad dealership, but if you've seen a whole bunch of them, that's a red flag. Do your homework, because remember, the dealership you deal with can make or break you. The 2 most expensive or important purchases most people make is a house and a car. Both affect your credit in a major way. So if you get a bad car, statistics say people get repossessions when their cars break down. And it's a simple fact. If the car is broken down, that means you got to pay for the repair and a car payment and insurance, and it could be thousands of dollars. So what you want to do is be able to go in there, buy a good car, and walk away in the best position that you can be. Then number two, know your budget. Set a budget. Don't get in that dealership like deer in the headlights. So many people come into a dealership and, I love this car. I love it. I just got to have this TL, or I got to have this Honda Accord with 2 pipes. Don't get deer in the headlight syndrome. Go in there and know your budget. First and foremost, there are no $350 car payments. If a car is less than $10,000, possibly. But if a car is less than $10,000, it has over 100,000 miles, number one. Okay? Number one, it has a lot of miles on it. And you want to stay away from that, because at 100,000 miles, it's out of the powertrain warranty. It's out of most factory warranties. And you're going to have to get some protection, which is a vehicle service contract, and we'll talk about that in a few. But you want to get a car that's serviceable. I generally say you want to look at a car that's around 40 to 60,000 miles. 70 at most, but 40 to 60,000 miles. You want to stay in the mid to upper teens. I know it's going to be hard because most cars now are like 19, 20, 21, 22, but you want to stay there. If you have credit issues, you want a car in this area between 12 and 20. Why? It's going to be easier for the bank to finance you, even with credit challenges. Okay? So you want to make sure it stays within your budget. So if you got poor credit, your payment's going to be 5s, 6, 7s. Okay? You want to cap that. 5, 6, 7s. Because remember, you got to live after buying this car. You got to put gas in this car. You got to do your maintenance on the car, oil changes, tire rotations. You want to do your preventive maintenance every day, and you want to be able to put gas in the car. So make sure you can have a budget where your car payment is no more than 1/5 of your income. okay? 1/5 of your income, okay? Third. So you did your homework, you got a budget. Now look at cars. Before you walk into a dealership, go online and look at them. Now you're going to discover something that dealers are doing right now. And this is a major issue, and I've had that problem with my former employers. The people are looking at a car that's $15,999 online. They come into the dealership. The manager knows you can't buy a car. That car is not $15,999. So when he does the pencil or the write-up, you went out there, you fell in love with the car, and I'm telling y'all, don't take a car for a test drive until you get the numbers. It's no use in falling in love with a car you cannot afford. Can I say it again? There's no use in you falling in love with a car that you physically can't afford. So take the emotion out and put your business cap on. Get the numbers early. Don't waste a lot of time in a dealership. Come in and say, hey, my name is so-and-so. I have a budget set for a car. I saw this car online. Do yourself a favor. Take a snapshot of the picture of the car and the price online before you go in. When you come in, if you can print it out, print it out. I want this car at this price plus tax and tags. You hear what I'm saying? Plus tax, tags, in the fees. If there's a fee, a small fee like for your tags and stuff like that, you can pay that. Now, the $500 or $499 freight or stuff like that, no. There is a processing fee. Don't strip off of that. That little bit of money, go on and pay the processing fee, the $400. Go on and pay that to process the fee. The dealer, definitely deserves that. But you don't pay for an inspection fee. You don't pay for a reconditioning fee because there's a thing called PAC, P-A-C-K, and that's the price that's already built into the car. So for instance, if they went to the auction and they bought the car for $10,000, the PAC normally is anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000. That's the price that they use to recondition it, to inspect it, to do the repairs needed to pass Maryland State inspection. So the PAC is already included in the price. So they paid $10,000 for the car. They're going to put another $3,000 on it, and they're going to sell the car to you for $16,999 or $17,999. So don't be paying these additional fees. No reconditioning fee. No recertification fees. All these no. Because if these fees were applicable, it should be listed on the ad online. They're not going to do it. They're going to give you the lowest price to get you in the door. They're going to have you test drive the car to fall in love. And then they're going to hit you with the numbers, and you'll talk yourself into taking a car payment that busts your budget. Okay? So do your research. Get the numbers early. So the first thing you want to do the dealership research. Secondly, look at your budget. You want to be one-fifth, at max, 1/4 of your take-home salary. So you can make $5,000. You don't want that car payment, I'm being honest, you don't want that car payment more than $600, $700 at max if you're taking home $5,000, okay? You want to do your research on the dealership, do your budget, get the car, do your research of the car online, and then fourth, get the number early. Walk through the door. Hey, I'm looking at this car. I saw it online. You may want to go out and look at it. Come back in and say, look, I don't need to take it for a test drive. Let me see the numbers. The numbers are going to make whether you want the car or not. If the numbers are wrong, if those numbers come by and you see all those fees, take yourself a pencil, take your cell phone, take a cell phone, take a picture of that sheet. They don't want you to do this. I'm going to tell you why. They know they have illegal stuff on that paper. So I'm going to tell you, when they do it, they put it in front of you, think, and snap a picture of it as soon as you can. Snap a picture. Watch the numbers come down. And then you ask a question, what is this number? What is that number? What is this number? What is that number? If you are trading in a car, do it separate from this deal, okay? Don't talk about a trade. Let them do all the numbers. Then you say, I got a trade. Let them give you the earnest numbers on your trade. You're going to have to do some more research. Go to kellybluebook.com. Go to Find out those numbers, take it to your local CarMax or place, get a couple of appraisals on your vehicle so you have a solid number. That number is non-negotiable. If they say the car's worth $10,000, of course the dealer is going to try to save some money on that car, sell you the car at their price, give you less for their price so it can be more profit. Now listen, dealers deserve to make a profit, but they should not be knocking me in the head, busting my head, walking out the door. Because for every $1,000, every $1,000 you finance, it's going to be about $20 to $25 in payment. So you want to maintain your price. So you got their numbers. Go through, be a surgeon. Be a surgeon. Look through that. What's this right here? I'm not paying that. Nope, not paying that. And go through it with your pencil. Go through that. Go through it, and initial it. I'm not paying. No pay. You know, and when you get down to it, they'll tell you what your down payment and stuff is. And you say, look, well, I have a trade. I've already had several appraisals. I am not going to give you the appraisal. I want to compare it. Could you give me an honest appraisal on my car? They'll go out there and do the appraisal. If you still owe money on this car, before you walk into the dealership, call your bank, your lender, and say, what is the 30-day payoff for my car? They're going to probably give you like a 10 or 15 day, and then ask them for the per diem. That's the price per day. It might like be $3.50, $4.50 a day, and you can do the numbers. So you got your payoff, you got your appraisal on your car. So when you walk in, you're going to be intelligent because you're not going to be caught up in emotion. The minute you look at that and they're not willing to deal, say thank you. Give the salesperson respect. It's not their fault. Thank them for your time. Be cordial. Be professional. It's business. It's never personal. No use of you going crazy, yelling and screaming. If you're traveling a distance, get the numbers before you go all the way. I live in Baltimore. So I bought a car before. I bought my Charger in Virginia. It was a Coons Kia, I believe. So before I got on the road, they sent me the numbers to both cars I like. So when I walked in, it was so easy. I was like, wow. And I had credit challenges at the time, but they had my bank already locked in. So when I walked in, the numbers that they quoted me before I walked into the dealership were the numbers I paid for. So key, get the numbers early before you come in. I'm coming from a long way. I don't have time for games. What is I want to know the vehicle price, your fees, taxes, tags, and title before I come there. Don't say I want the out-the-door price. Say I want the vehicle price, tax, tags, title, and all appropriate state fees. Get it emailed to you. So you got a picture of the car you're looking for, and you got their numbers, and you can juggle between. This is regardless of your credit. Regardless of your credit, you do this work. Next, once the numbers, you see the numbers, you negotiate the numbers. They'll tell you, well, it's a no haggle price. Tell them, I'm not haggling about the price. My haggle is the fee. Get that in your, I'm not haggling the price. If the price is $15,999, I have no problem. That was your online price. That's what we're going to stick with. I am not paying these fees. If they say you have to, kindly get up, take up all your material, and leave. They're not selling a lot of used cars. And when you're going for a new car, that's a whole nother monster because they've been bumping them up. Do your research. Several vehicle manufacturers have sent letters out to dealerships saying stop the bumps. We call them the price bump. The price bump legally is for a vehicle that's odd or rare. Like, for instance, a classic Corvette or something. You can do a price bump, and that should be detailed on an addendum outside of the vehicle. So you buying a Camry, and you going in there, and the price online was $34,999, and you get there and they got a $10,000 bump. You tell them, no, I'm not paying that. Find a dealership who doesn't. There are several advertisers on the radio that said we don't play the bump because they know it's been illegal. You can't be doing that stuff. Now, listen. The illegal portion comes in when what's advertised online is different, 10, 15,000. That's false advertisement. You want to make sure it lines up. The smart purchase may be a vehicle that's maybe 2 or 3 years older with low mileage, a used vehicle. A lot of dealerships have bought a lot of stuff during COVID, okay? And now they upside down in these vehicles and they got to move them. They've been on the lot for a while. Sometimes you could walk and say, look, I need a car that's been here for a while. What's one of your oldest age units? Because they'll probably try to get that. They'll take a loss to get it out because they're going to make it up on the back end. And that's pretty much, your warranties, your gap and stuff. And yes, get your gap protection. Do not buy a car without GAP, gap protection. Now, gap protection covers you in the case of your car getting totaled. So if you owe 15 on the car, your insurance company is going to come out and give you 10. That $5,000 has to be paid. So gap protection covers the 5. So get gap. Write it down. Gap is my friend. Gap protection is my friend. Do not do a deal without gap protection. If it's a pre-owned vehicle, a used car, get a vehicle service agreement. We call them warranties, but actually it's going to cover you, not just a powertrain. Don't just get a powertrain. That covers the engine, the transmission, and some of the electrical. Get a full, and know what you're getting. Read it first. Make sure it's covering things in there that you need covered. Because, okay, the engine's not bad, the tran's not bad, the electrical's not bad, but you got a major issue with the car and you're paying $1,800 or $2,000, $3,000 for a warranty. Make sure it covers everything you need. Do your research. Okay? So you want gap. Tell them put gap protection and put a customer service warranty in. If you're in Baltimore with all those potholes out there, I would advise you to consider road hazard. It covers your tires, your ball joints, the things in your car. So if you hit a pothole and it does damage, you don't call it an insurance claim in. You use your road hazard, and generally has a deductible like $50 to $100. A lot of them have no deductibles. So you want to get it. Know how long these service contracts and warranties for. There's no use you paying $1,700 for a 2-year. You want one as closest to the length of the loan you get. I hope you're writing this down. You want your vehicle service contract. So if you got a 6-year payment and they say, well, we can give you a 4-year vehicle service contract, take it. Because 9 out of 10, within that 4 years, you're going to look to get out of this vehicle and get to another vehicle before your warranty or your vehicle service agreement is up. Your gap protection. Now, if you do trade your car in early, like say in 2 years, you can get money back from this customer service, your vehicle service warranty and your gap. So you'll keep that paperwork. Keep that paperwork handy, especially when you trade in, because you can get money back. I have helped a lot of people get money back when they trade a vehicle in and they still have a vehicle service warranty or gap, and it's been like 18 to 20 months. They can get that money back. Your vehicle was totaled, you can get that money back, or a portion of the money. Let me say that, a portion of the money. So now you got your gap outside of all their fees. Now, we don't negotiate gap or vehicle service contract upon the initial numbers. Get the numbers of the vehicle and you'll know what you'll be walking away. Ask for a gap, your options in gap, and a vehicle service contract. Now, if that's agreeable and your numbers look good, go outside and do a full walk around. Ladies or gentlemen who are not vehically sound, take a mechanic with you. Someone who knows what's going on with the vehicle, so they can help you look. You can pull the dipstick, check the oil and transmission, make sure there has no gunk in it. Make sure your vehicles are topped off, because they want to sell you a recertification fee, but yet you'll go in there, they don't have windshield wiper fluid. First thing you say is, okay, you want to sell me this fee, but it don't have the stuff. It wasn't reconditioned. Check the interior. Check the radio. Please check the radio. Most importantly, please listen. Go in the back, pop the trunk, see if it has a spare tire, the jack, the lug wrench. Make sure it has all those things. Do not buy a car without a spare. Now, I know Malibus are selling with that fix-a-flat thing. You don't want to do that, because what if the car tire is so torn up that you gotta get it towed? It doesn't benefit you. You want a car, if possible, with a donut, or in the best case scenario, a full-size spare. Now remember, if you take that tire off and put it in your trunk and you got the spare on, you have no other spare. So the goal is to get it serviced right away, okay? Make sure you check the car. Look around the car. Look at it along the side, making sure there's no bumps or wrinkles. This could be an indicator the car was in an accident. Which reminds me, get a real Carfax. Read the Carfax before you sign anything. Make sure you see the service records. While you're walking around that vehicle, I want you to look and see if there's a water line, because it could be a flood vehicle. Make sure you don't see water lines. You'll see that at the lower portion underneath the fender. Make sure you take your cell phone, turn your light on, and make sure you see these things. Start the car up. Let it run for a few minutes. See if there's any condensations or leaks. Where it was parked at, make sure it's leaked. If the battery needs to be charged, now they'll get slick at a dealership and have the lot guy charge it. Tell them, I want a replacement battery. Do not drive out of there with a vehicle with a dead battery. They'll say, we'll recharge it. No, in order for this deal to go through, with the money you're making and the money I'm spending, I want a new battery, and I want to see the receipt. New battery. Because when you get it out there the next morning, if it's cold outside, it won't start. And now that you drove it off the lot, it's your problem. Negotiate getting things fixed on the car while you're there. A few bumps, nicks, and scrapes on the car, no. That happens. You can get that riding down the street from rocks. But batteries or funny noises, get it checked out. If you can, ask them, can I get this car looked at by my mechanic before I purchase it? I've taken cars from a used car lot, and taken it to a dealership and paid the extra $100 or whatever for them to do a full diagnostic of the car to make sure the car was sound. Maryland state inspections are great, but it's not detailed enough, especially when you're spending the money that you have. Remember, the average warranty in Maryland is 30 days, 1,000 miles. It is not 100%. Some of them have 50-50, which means you pay 50% of the repair, they pay 50%. And you got it up to 1,000 miles in 30 days. That's not a lot at all. And plus, think about it. If you get a piece of junk, you're now going to pay for something he knew was messed up. You're going to pay for that yourself. Okay? So you got your numbers. You got your Carfax. You checked the vehicle out. You drove it. Accelerate. Try to take it to an expressway to put on the road and let it run. Go a little bit. Don't make your test drive 2 minutes around the corner. Take it for a ride. The car will talk to you and tell you issues. Turn on the AC. Turn on the heat. Okay? Make sure the radio works. Make sure the horn works. Make sure the blinkers work. Cut the signals on and walk around making sure they work. Because when you drive away, it's yours. Blinkers and lights and stuff like that, that's on you. Okay, so now you've gotten that done. You got the numbers that look good to you. The Carfax checks out. The vehicle handles real well. No major issues. You're going to go into the finance office. So again, don't sign anything. If the numbers come out right and everything on the sheet, they say, well, can you sign right here? Before you go in the back, just go in and do your little initials. Like boom, a little scribble. Let them take it back. When you get back there, remember I told you to take a picture before you got back there? Pull the picture up and look at the numbers on your phone versus the numbers on that paper. Find out how much it's going to be in the month. And on that thing, you're going to see something. It's going to say how many months the loan, the vehicle price. That's where they get you sometimes. You'll see a bump in that. And if you're not paying attention, you're looking at payment and you're looking at the end result. Look at the number there. That number should match your number, what you're financing. It'll tell you at the end of paying 36 months, 48 months, 60, this is the price of your car at the interest rate. You should see your vehicle service contract, your tax tags, title work, okay? You'll look at the bottom, you'll see that fee. If everything looks out, make sure you get a copy of your warranties. Have them explain it to you in detail. Match it up with the paper they got there. Get a brochure to make sure you covered where you need to be covered. Making sure you got gap. Make sure this stuff is highlighted. Okay? Don't get excited. Don't worry about how long it's going to take. Cover your own self. Cover yourself. Once everything looks good, sit back and now sign it. Date it, take a picture of it again to cover yourself. And now your vehicle purchase is done. Even with bad credit, there are subprime lenders out there. Some people say the worst is CAC. If you're dealing with CAC, your credit is trash. I'm being honest. And I don't mean this to be disrespectful. It's trash. That means you got low credit and rarely nobody's going to do it. But even with that, remember, you're still buying a car. Protect yourself. You know you're going to come in, it's going to be in the 20% interest or whatever, unless you're going to stop and go out here and get your credit repaired and boost your scores. If you need a car right away, you got to do what you got to do. I wouldn't advise it. I would rather for you to see if you can get a loved one or a relative who has great credit, who trusts you to help co-sign for the vehicle. You keep it for 24 months or whatever, 30 months. And to assure them that you're going to pay it, do an auto debit from your job. If you got automatic or whatever, to send the money to their account to show that you can make the payment. Or if they say, well, you just go on and pay it. And when you pay it, send them the receipt. Send them the receipt. I've helped out a family where a young girl said she wanted to do it. The mom and her went and opened up a joint account. Okay? They opened up a joint account. And then she took a portion of her pay from auto debit and put it in there, and she paid her car payment from there. So you want to find out when you're sitting down there, 9 times out of 10, they're going to count the day you bought the car to start your payments. Make the first payment and negotiate with the bank the best day for you. So the best day, if you get paid on the 15th, have your payment due the 20th. That way, if there's any holidays, anything, you can pay it on time. So you'll send that payment in, and then your mom or your dad, whoever helped you with the car, will have access to that bank account and see the money's coming out. You don't touch the car. You don't even touch the money. Matter of fact, you say, I don't even want a debit card. When they debit this money out into that account, I don't need a card. Because what you're going to do is, from that account, you're going to make your payment like a checking account. That way they can pull it out, and out of sight, out of mind. That credit card won't get you into trouble. That debit card won't get you into trouble. So that's pretty much it. Again, remember to do your homework. Buying a car is too important for you just to jump out there and buy something. And if you got bad credit or credit issues, stop looking for highline cars. You want affordable cars that help you crawl before you walk. I've helped people get affordable, good cars like Camrys and Accords and Civics and stuff. Something a good price with good value that when you drive it and it starts to depreciate, it doesn't depreciate enough that you can't get a good value. When you can, during your income tax season, call the bank and say, hello, Mr. Bank. Hey, this is Matt Bradby. What I want to do is I want to make a payment on the car. Not a monthly payment, but a payment on the principal. Payment on the principal. So if you get your income tax back and you put $2,000 on the principal, your remaining balance throughout that year, you're taking another $2,000 off of the vehicle purchase price. And that's going to lower it. The more money you make in principal. So I told a lady like this, your payments are $550. If you got an extra $100 a month, make your car payment. Separately, call them back and make a principal payment. The more payments you make, the lesser time you take, and it's at building up equity. So if you want to get out the car in 24 months or 36 months, you build up enough equity that you can get out of there without transferring that negative balance to your new vehicle. All right, so that's how you buy a car in the post-COVID era. Now, I know a lot of people putting out stuff saying it's illegal for a down payment and stuff like that. Listen, if you have poor credit, if you have good credit, 700 credit scores, I've never seen a person with that kind of credit ever ask for a down payment. But it is illegal for them to charge you fees to incur a loan. That's a whole new video. I'm going to put that out later. So if you got bad credit, look to put down at least tax and tags. Okay? At least to put down something. If they say, well, you need more money down, find out this important thing. How much was I approved for? Because of course, if they only approved you for $20,000 and the car you're looking at is $26,000, of course you're going to put up tax tags plus that $6,000, okay? Because you capped out at 20. Ask them to see the approval. They probably won't want to show you that, but you want to see what you're approved for. Legally, you have a right to know what the approval looks like because it's your credit. It's your credit. Don't give a credit. Don't give your social up to nobody until you're ready to buy the car. If you got poor credit, negotiate the price and everything. It's as if you had good credit, so you can sit down and know when it's poor credit what needs to be. Because what a lot of dealerships will do is if you got poor credit, they're going to jack up the price of the car. In the case of CAC and stuff, they're going to jack that price up. So when you buy it, they see have a built-in profit just because they have to repossess it. All right. If you have any comments, questions, do it right here. Do it in. Send me comments. I'll put my contact information inside the description so you can get in touch with me if you have a question. I've helped a lot of people not just repair their credit and coach them to do how to leverage their credit against their lending, but I've also helped people get the best deal for them. Best deal for them. But I'm going to also tell you something else. Don't be pressed. Get the numbers and sleep on them. Don't worry about if the car sold, is it sold. Don't be in a hurry to get in debt. It's worth the wait. If you're on the fence, go home and sleep it off. Ask a few people. Show them the numbers. Find somebody you know that sells cars. Okay? Or have that experience to look over the numbers to make sure you're getting your best blessed deal. All right? I love you guys. Do me a favor. Hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave me a comment. I know I'm public enemy number one, so I'm going to get a lot of people cussing me out. They're going to talk all kinds of stuff. But the bottom line, this is how you buy a car smart. And in worst case scenario, as your credit get better, get your own financing. Go to your credit union. Go to your bank. Have them do it. Get approved for a number. Get that letter from them. Go to the dealership. They don't have to run your credit at the dealership because you already got your own financing. You already got your new numbers. If you're dealing with a credit union, 9 times out of 10, those rates going to be lower than the ones they're going to try to sell you. All right? So, again, let me know if I can help you any further. I know it's a little bit long, but I wanted to be detailed to help you get your best blessed deal and don't get yourself in any trouble. All right? Like, share, subscribe. Share with some friends and family, and I'll see you next time. Peace and blessings.